So welcome into the first match of a full championship Friday here from the NACA National Championship Tournaments. Our first match of the day is Division 4. This is actually the 8-9 seed of Division 4 between Our Savior New American, the Pioneers who are on the left-hand side of your screen, and the Christian Academy of Madison, the Defenders, which are on the right-hand side. As we have an ace served up here.
I'm sorry, that is Our Savior from New York. Is that right?
Yep, from Center Reach, New York.
Yeah, okay.
So a 9-5 lead for the Pioneers. This, by the way, everything today is bracket play. So pool play is done. It's best of 3 matches. The only real difference between this and regular volleyball during the season is that your third set will go to 15 instead of 25. So it'll be 25-25. If the third set is needed, it would go to 15. Now a 10-5 lead for Our Savior. By the way, we'll be in Division 4 for the first 2 games of the day. This game is supposed to start at 9 a.m. and then 11 o'clock this morning will be the winner of this game against the number 1 seed of Division 4. So not a lot of rest for either one of these teams, although there might be a little bit of a break there. More importantly, we might get a little bit of a break there. We'll see. Unless that third set goes like, 53-51 or something crazy. So 10-6 lead here for the Pioneers as the Defenders will play it back over, and the first of a whole lot of matches today. Matter of fact, it's pretty much straight through all the way through the 8:45 Division 1 championship tonight, which I haven't really gotten a good look at those brackets. When we get in between the first 2 matches today, I'll go down and fill out this entire thing, and then we'll have all that to work with for the rest of today. So that's serve into the net by Courtney Springer, and back over it goes to the Defenders. Back to serve is Brooke Porter, a 5'6" sophomore. Porter's serve now tipped back across. And sent over by Juliana Dilk. Now up front. Put over there by Williams. See what the Pioneers do here. Williams in the middle had that partially blocked, but it rolls over and down for a kill. Now a 12-7 lead for Our Savior. Nora Williams to serve here. Get back up front. That hit into the net, make it 12-8. By the way, it happened to work out decently this year in all 4 divisions. There are 48 volleyball teams here. So all 4 divisions have 12 teams, which is kind of an interesting way that all happened to work together. As the Defenders will continue to serve here. Sent across by Miller. Now back to the near side, and the Defenders will have another crack at it here. Tipped across and down. Nice play up front by Ashton Haggard, a 5'10" sophomore, and a 12-10 lead for the Pioneers. I'm still not used to these 9 a.m. games, by the way. I'm still on Central Time. At least it feels that way. Sent back to the far side. Now Our Savior to play it back up to the front row here. Put across there by Williams. And that bumped across and down by Juliana Dilk. Nice play here, just bumping it back over her head. And a 12-11 lead for Our Savior. And another serve here for the defenders. That's an ace. Now we're tied up at 12, and I believe we're going to have a timeout, and we do. Timeout to our saver. Tied at 12 here at set one. Take a break. Get back with more in a moment. You're watching the NACA National Tournament. So out of the timeout, defenders will play it here. Set to the middle and then put across there by Williams. And a nice kill here on the near side by Ashton Haggard. 13-12 the lead for the defenders. And continuing to serve is Morgan Miller, as the senior has rattled off a bunch of consecutive points here. Set it back to the middle and then now track down. And put back over. That hit out of bounds. And we're tied at 13.
Good game to start the morning.
A serve here by Amanda Williams. Track down back to the middle. Good dig on the back line by Daly. Sent back into the back row and pushed across by Williams. Put into the net. Finally, that will fall in. And a 14-13 lead for Christian Academy. That kind of ricochets off the ceiling, and an ace for the defenders. Make it now 15-13.
The reason I had asked about, just to be sure if that was the same Our Savior that we're familiar with it, as I recall, and I could be wrong. I remember the basketball teams. My memory was telling me that they were Navy.
It does seem like that's the case. Well, and it does, if you look on their official school color list, it says navy, maroon, and white. So
okay.
They must,
well, there you go. They
must adopt the maroon for
yeah, they had
volleyball.
some latitude to work with.
But, yeah, I think you're right. It does seem like they were blue and white. So back tied at 15.
I still remember, but I still can't pronounce his name. I'm actually having trouble remembering his name exactly, but he's big-time McDonald's All-American basketball player that played for them back a couple years back. We watched him over the years. Okanobi.
Oh, boy, yeah, that's a name that
come on, I'm hoping you can help me because I can't leave it out there. But he's playing for Kansas right now.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And just a great young man, and we watched him grow, and just a beast on the court. His presence was known on the court by everyone on the court and everyone in the building at all times. Everybody kind of had you kind of just had an eye and feel for where he was because he was generally in the middle of the action. But when
there have been a few players like that here over the years where it's just kind of imposing type of figures.
You know, time flies when you're having fun. He could potentially be a junior now, but at Kansas, University of Kansas, and I've but I know after, you know, we watched him grow and develop over the years, which he was already a powerhouse, you know, just a head turner. And like a couple of weeks after the NACA national tournament closed, I looked and I saw him. He was having an interview on the McDonald's All-American, McDonald's All-Star. What is it, game?
Yeah, All-American game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game usually happens. In fact, it's happened quite a few times at the United Center in Chicago. I've never been to it because it's typically on a weekend or a night when I can't go, but most every year they host that tournament, or that game at least. 1917 is back to serve for our Savior as Bethany Hahn. Sophomore puts it back into play here. And that pushed across and down for Christian Academy's Ashton Haggard. Right here, just off the block up front. Now 20-17 the lead for the defenders. That serve goes into the net, making it 20-18. And that was served by Brianna Beekman. That back line set across there. And that should be a net violation. You can see Kayla Onse going clear under the net. In fact, all the way to the other side of the net. So 21-18. Hannah Gamble, senior, will check in and get set to serve.
That was almost a Red Rover.
Yeah, that was clear across everything. That tip falls in. 22-18, the lead for the defenders. I'm trying to think of where Madison, Indiana is, and I have no idea. I guess I really haven't been a lot on the eastern side of Indiana. I've been mostly on the central and western side. Defenders will play it back up front. Tipped over and down by Juliana Dilk. It's 23-18.
I'm not very well traveled. You wouldn't say, but I've had the pleasure of going to Indiana. Up there, beautiful country. A lot of corn we saw. We went to Indianapolis. That was the...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My wife is from just outside of Indianapolis.
And as far as I've ventured into Illinois would be Springfield.
Yeah.
Springfield, Illinois.
Springfield's interesting. Yeah, I've been down that way. I'm about an hour outside of Chicago, on the south side of it.
But I really like to hear my friends and people that had the pleasure of going to Chicago to just tell me about that pizza. Tell me once again.
Pizza and hot dogs.
Tell me once again.
Yeah.
How did they layer it?
It's an interesting deal. I mean, most of the people who live in it's kind of like everywhere else in the country. Most people who live there don't eat it that often. I'm one of the few people who like it. A lot of Chicagoans don't even really like deep dish. But
it's just too heavy duty.
Yeah,
it's not something
you eat on a regular basis.
It's more of a novelty,
right?
Kind of.
Yeah. But we do. My wife and I like it a lot. But we only eat it a few times a year or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically there's a thick crust that goes across the sides and the bottom, and then you put the toppings and everything on the bottom of the pizza. So sausage, pepperoni, whatever, mushrooms, whatever in there. Then you put the cheese on top of that and then the sauce on top of that. Gotcha. And it's like, it's a good, Depends on where you get it.
So
it
how
can
do
be
they
like
cook-
3 or 4 inches thick, depending on where
So
you
it's
get
just
it.
really all the meats are really more baked, or do they cook them?
It's
do
like
they
a
grill
a
them?
pie. I mean,
Do
it's
they grill
like
them real good before they?
oh yeah, that's all cooked up. But it's like a thick pie is really what it is. And it also depends on where you get it, because some people say it's Chicago style and it's not. But yeah, if you get Chicago style deep dish, that's the way it works. And it's really good, but it's not cheap and it takes a long time. I mean, if you go to the pizzeria and order it, you're waiting probably 45 minutes to get it.
If they're going to make a custom,
yeah.
sure, certainly.
Yeah. So it's it's not a regular thing, but every now and then you'll get it. It is good. I mean, you get about 2,000 calories in a slice.
I like that.
You get your entire day's worth in one slice. 24-20 still set point here as our Savior continues to serve. I can tell you the best places to get it, though, if you ever venture up that way.
I've got your phone number.
Say one of the more popular ones is Lou Malnati's.
Lou Malnati's,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. The one by us, we live outside of the city. We have Giordano's out by us, which is okay. I mean, it's good. But yeah, there's Gino's East, Lou Malnati's. Lou Malnati's is probably the big one.
My memory's so bad, I'm afraid I would get up there and there would be some variation of Illuminati's that
somebody spells it wrong.
And I go to the
wrong.
Yeah, drags me in. And I'd end up.
You can't really. I mean, I've had very few that were bad. For the most part, if you go to the major places, it's usually pretty good.
Okay, let's get back to volleyball, and then on the next time out, I want you to talk to me about the Chicago-style hot dogs.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole nother thing. So 24-22, and it's been a nice run here for our Savior. While we're talking about pizza, they've managed to run off quite a few points and get back in this set. The defenders have had set point for a while. And still trying to get it, and there it is off a good hit from Juliana Dilk. 25-22 as Christian Academy takes set one. We'll take a break, come back, and see if they can finish it off in set two. You're watching the NACA National Tournament.
Can one choice change a life? When it's a big choice like choosing a college, it's safe to say yes. Put yourself in the shoes of a new student. You want teachers you can really learn from, classes you look forward to, friends who share your faith, and times you won't forget. But more than that, you want a college that prepares you to serve God with your life. Pensacola Christian College offers all this and more. Come see what a Christ-centered campus is like during college days at Pensacola Christian College. Visit pcci.edu for more info.
Educating students.
Educating students.
To become servants of Christ. Servants of Christ.
Para llegar a ser servidores de Cristo.
To make a difference in today's world.
Faire une différence dans le monde d'aujourd'hui.
Einen Unterschied in der heutigen Welt zu machen.
Fazer uma diferença no mundo de hoje.
تغييب الدنيا داير روزان.
Мы можем изменить сегодняшний мир.
start of set number 2 between Christian Academy and Our Savior. That hit into the net, and the Pioneers lead it 1-0 after the defenders took set 1. These are
that was a block.
actual matches.
Let's run that one back one time real quick. Yeah.
Yep.
Back to the action.
So it's set to the far side and put across there by Gossman.
Great block. I love seeing some really good, solid blocks. And there she was again, ready for a.
Yep, that one hit into the net by Juliana.
She's got good, great timing.
Yeah, and they're trying, once you see that a couple of times, you try to go around it or hit it straight down or figure out ways to get around the block, and then you end up making some mistakes. There's a tip across. Wow, nice set and a nice hit there too.
Yeah, there's a little bit of chess going on down there on the net.
Amanda Williams did a nice job. Speaking of working around a block, just kind of went around that and went straight down the line. So Brianna Beekman with the serve. That is an ace. Now a 4-0 lead for Our Savior. Beekman will get set to serve again. Not a single senior on this Our Savior team, not a one.
Wow.
And matter of fact, only 3 juniors. So it's a really, really young volleyball team.
Yeah, and these young ladies have come out swinging here in set 2.
Well, it's quickly a 5-0 lead. So Beekman to serve again. That's out of bounds. Whoa, and that was almost touched by Katie Daly, but the last second she pulled her hands back and managed to stay away from it. 5-1 the lead for Our Savior. It's now Morgan Miller to serve. And an ace will make it 5-2.
Good, really good dig, but just a miscommunication on who was going to take the set on that sequence.
So Serviceur makes it 6-2. And now Courtney Springer, the sophomore, to serve.
Uh-oh.
And we have 2 hits. Make it 7-2. See right there on the set.
You definitely have a better eye for those.
Yeah, it's one of those things where there's a couple of things to look for as far as how you know it's 2 hits or not. That's hit out of bounds. The first and foremost is if it rolls up the fingertips. So if it hits on the palms and then it rolls off their fingertips, they'll usually call that a double hit. And the other one is if the more traditional kind is you don't hit both at the same time. You're kind of
hit. What they get on this, John?
Alternate.
Pardon me. Was that
somebody's in the net?
So
that was, I think it was a defender that was in the net. To make it 8-3.
Yeah, pardon me. Go ahead.
Yeah, the other one is kind of the traditional. If you don't make contact at the same time with both hands, they'll get you there too. But some of them are really touchy. There are some officials that, if they feel like you've held on to it for too long, that they'll hit you for that too.
Kind of part lift and part,
So it's purely a judgment call by.
Some of them are more clear than others.
Yeah, and it's just like, if you're playing football or anything else and you see certain things being called or the game's called the same way, or like basketball, certain things are called fouls and certain things aren't by whatever officiating crew. You have to adjust your game to that a little. Same thing there. You got to learn what they're going to call and what they aren't and kind of adjust it. So 9-4 is the lead for Our Savior. Pretty good volley there. Serve here is an ace. That'll make it 9-5. The other night at school, the end of our volleyball season, we had a fundraiser, and it was the staff took on the varsity volleyball team.
Well, you got involved?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you what, man. I'm still feeling it. I haven't played in
You still got
a while.
it. You still got the game. Or are you still feeling?
No, I mean I'm still feeling playing it. I didn't. I mean, if I do say so myself, I didn't do too bad. But
well, that's a good. You
yeah.
know, that's important when you're the athletic director. It's good to have a good showing
when you haven't played in a while.
Yeah,
it's like it's 5 days later, and I'm still feeling the after effects. We played 3 sets. We were going to play 3 sets no matter what happened, and staff won. So it was fun.
Just not have the chemistry going on, or what? That's
well, I mean we were okay. I mean the varsity team had been playing together the entire year, and we practiced once. So it actually was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun.
If you've got a really weak link out there that really didn't
Yep.
have any past volleyball
they
experience,
will expose
that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was we had a good time. Everybody played a lot. It actually was. It was a lot of fun. So back tile at 9. Send it back across. That hit out of bounds. And a 10-9 lead here for Our Savior.
We want to thank everyone for tuning in with us this morning. Ask that if you have not already to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and of course, you're tuning in to YouTube, so make sure you've already hit the subscribe button on your device. Uh-oh.
That ricochets off the ceiling. Just got a little bit away from the Pioneers.
Can't they play that?
You can, as long as...
That was on their side. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
if it was the third, I don't know if that was the third hit.
Oh, okay.
Could have been. That ricochets off the ceiling, and that went across the net, so you cannot play that. It'll be 11-10. Again, to serve for the defenders is Ashton Haggard. And there is another ace.
Yeah, we've got a lot of.
10.
Yeah, this ball's really bouncing around the gym.
That was actually a really good op on the back row by Amanda Williams. It's just no one went to set it. She put it right where it's supposed to be, and just some miscommunication as far as who was supposed to be there next. 13-10, the lead for the defenders here in set 2. This is best of 3 match this morning here in the Division 4 opening round. If it does go to a third set, it would be to 15. We have, by the way, I think the next game is at 11 Eastern
and you can
time,
see the officials down here at the center judge stand there. They're really discussing and going over. I could tell they were kind of talking about the ceiling hits and just to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, those are tricky. They're tricky because this is not a high ceiling here. It's not super low, but it's not really high, so the ceiling comes into play.
Well, it's pretty high now. I mean, I understand it could be higher, but it's
yeah, it's a decent height. It's plenty high enough to play under. That's for sure.
That's absolutely. And it's kind of fun when you do get a play off the ceiling and can recover from it. Not that you would want to try to do that.
No, especially with all of the unevenness in this ceiling. If it was a straight, flat ceiling, I'd be tempted to set somebody off of it. Like trick plays in football. So there's an ace. Make it 13-12. The lead now for the defenders. Again, those are tricky, those ones that are on that back line, trying to figure out whether or not to let it go or play it. So here's track down. Now sent across, the opportunity for our Savior. And that blocked up front. So 14-12, the lead for the defenders. So into the lineup for Christian Academy is Hannah Gamble. She'll get set to serve. And sent across, now played at the net and tipped into the net by Brooke Porter. Let's see here, left a little bit too close, and Porter's trying to tip it around. A much bigger defender on the other side. As into the lineup comes Katie Daly. 14-13 is the lead now for the defenders. And that will eventually fall in. And we're tied at 14.
Another really close matchup, close set.
And played out of the net. Actually, nice job by Christian Academy, but some miscommunication on the near side. It'll end up falling in. Now 15-14, the lead for our Savior. Played back to the middle. Bumped over there by Porter. And that will fall in. We're tied up at 15.
Uh-oh. Got a little whistle. Something. They saw something they didn't like.
Oh, it's a shoe that needs to be tied here in the back row.
Okay. Okay. Official timeout. All sorted.
So here we go. Porter's serve is out of bounds. And a 16-15 lead for our Savior. Let's play back to the near side. Now an opportunity for the Pioneers. I'm actually kind of surprised that that wasn't a lift or a double hit there, but it doesn't matter because the Pioneers are in the net. That was close. So if you're taking it back in the near side and put over, so Christian Academy will set it across, and that is your good old two hits or lift, if you will. Just kind of caught it and threw it back over. Again, that's the judgment call aspect of how long you've had it in your hands. (17-16), the Pioneers lead it. Sent across. That was a nice hit. And returned over. It will be a 17-17 tie.
Neck and neck.
Back to serve for Christian Academy is Juliana Dilk, one of the seniors on this roster. Boy, that's a nice serve right there. 18-17.
Get another look.
That thing had a little bit of heat on it. Just tipped across, now sent back over and put across there, and now they'll come back to the Pioneers. A good dig on that back line by Miller. That front tipped across and down. Good play again at the net by Haggard. Miller kept that whole thing alive. And then Haggard kind of finished it off. So 19-17. Serve here now played across. And now 20-17. But this serve from Dilk makes it difficult for our Savior to get anything going. That hit into the net, make it 20-18. And Nora Williams to serve here for our Savior. Step back to the middle, tipped across, now played over and out of bounds. 21-18. And a serve here for Gossman. Tipped over and defenders will play it. To the near side. And that will fall in. So now 22-18. Serve from Gossman here. Played up front. Just tipped over. That blocked. And finally sent over again by the Pioneers. And that hit into the net. So 22-19. Back to serve for our Savior is Amanda Williams. Pioneers need a little bit of a run here. That's a nice serve. Sent back into the middle, and that will eventually fall in. So 23-19. And for Christian Academy is Kisa Topman. And that's served into the net by Ashton Haggard. And coming back in is Morgan Miller. 23-20. And Kayla Onse to serve here for the Pioneers. Tracked down by Miller. Played back to the middle and sent across, and that will fall in. And so now 24-20. And match point here for the defenders. Back in for Christian Academy comes Hannah Gamble.
Game point.
That it is. This would finish the whole thing out. And we'll serve.
Is that match point?
It would be match point, yep. Now still alive here for the defenders. Pioneers play it back over. And nice set and a good kill there for Brianna Beekman.
Not so fast, says our Savior.
24-21. Back in for the defenders comes Katie Daly. And Bethany Hahn serves it up for an ace. Make it 24-22. Still match point. (24-23). Still match point. And timeout to the defenders. So we'll take one as well. We'll see if our saver can come all the way back here in set 2. You're watching the NACA National Tournament. So 24-23, still match point for the defenders. As they try to track it down. And now bumped over. And now sent across. So back in the middle, that's tipped over. Up at the net, good dig on that back line by Hahn. Sent to the far side, that is out of bounds.
That's going to do it.
So
that was out of bounds.
24-24.
Oh, pardon me. Oh, I thought she might have got a hand on it, but that was mostly the net that it bounced off and just rolled on over.
Serve again by Hahn. Set back to the middle and now put over. And that's set over and down, so 25-24 is the lead now for the defenders, although it is a, got to win by 2.
Not yet, ladies.
Got to win by 2.
Not yet, ladies.
This is match play.
They thought that was
Gotta
game. They were about to celebrate. Not so fast.
Yeah. We're back to traditional rules now, so you got to win by 2. It's set over. And that put across. Good dig by Miller on that back line. Left up front, tipped out, still alive. Wow, what a play coming off that back line by Springer, and then finally tipped in. The last couple points there were pretty good.
Wow, I'm telling you, these teams really picked it up when it was on the line.
And that'll do it as Christian Academy wins it 26-24.
Yeah, let's run that one back while you're closing us out.
Boy, I'm telling you what, there's this play right, that's the end play right there, but the play before that was pretty impressive.
It really looked like two completely different teams
it
got down to the...
Our Savior looked like a completely different team in the last 2 or 3 points of that match. But in any case, Christian Academy will win it 26-24, and they will advance to the 11 a.m. contest, which will be between them and the number 1 seed in Division 4. So we'll take a break. We'll come back for that here in just a little bit. You've been watching the NACA National Championship Tournament.